This is what a leaky gut allergy can look like. 2 years ago, out of nowhere, my nose started malfunctioning. By that I mean I was getting congested, then I was getting itchy, and then sores started forming in my nostrils where the skin split. What you see here is a pretty mild example because it's been worse. With my nose full of sores, constantly leaking and being quite sensitive and painful to touch. I mean, it's even triggered as I speak. When these symptoms first came about 2 years ago, I originally put them down to environmental factors. I was convinced that I'd become sensitive to some new airborne allergen or toxin, because who knows what's floating around in the atmosphere these days. It never occurred to me to be due to my diet, given that my diet had barely changed. Out of pure curiosity and completely unrelated to this nose episode, I decided to do an allergy and intolerance test just because. And I was shocked at the results. It revealed that I'm allergic to almonds, peanuts, hazelnuts, apples and oranges, shrimp, soy, rice and wheat. And that I'm intolerant to cow's milk, chickpeas and coconut. Now some of those I'm not so surprised about, like wheat and cow's milk. I've had reactions since my IBS days, back when I was a teen. Rice, I'm so-so. It always bloated me, but you kind of expect that with rice. But since doing the testing, I did pay attention and noticed that I do experience more constipation when eating basmati rice. As for the rest, I have been eating and drinking nuts and coconut milk for years with no reaction. So now I can't drink nut milks, which I used to love. I can't drink coconut milks, which I also loved. And I can't drink soy milk, which I don't really drink, because they all trigger this symptom. And this has actually happened this time because I was trying to avoid wheat. I was craving bread, went to a gluten-free bakery, forgetting that they use almond flour. So I literally can't win. Then there's chickpeas. And being Middle Eastern, I grew up on chickpeas, never had a problem. And now I can't eat hummus without my nose flaring up. It's the exact same with prawns, where I only ate them occasionally, but now if I eat them, this happens as well. I get congested, my nose starts to itch, the skin starts to crack, and I'm in pain, and this can last up to a few days. Now I know that some people out there say that allergy and intolerance tests are a waste of time and money. And that may be true in some cases, but as you can see from the array of foods that have been triggering me unknowingly, had I not taken these tests, anything ranging from an orange to a prawn to a hazelnut, I would have had no idea. There is no world where I would have cut them all out. Even with elimination diets, you're not told to cut out apples all the time, or seafood, so prawns all the time, or nuts all the time. These foods are seen as healthy. And that's not to say that those foods aren't healthy, by the way. When you understand how leaky gut works, if you have a leaky gut, when you're eating certain foods, if they make it through the intestinal wall into your bloodstream where they shouldn't be, your immune system gets triggered. It treats those food particles as invaders and it reacts with inflammation. So that's how you develop new food intolerances and allergies. And technically, they should be temporary based on repairing the gut wall lining. As you know, in this case, it's 2 years in the making, and I also have endometriosis and endometriosis of the bowel. I don't know just how big a role my endometriosis is playing with regards to my gut health. Since being diagnosed 8 years ago, I've never had surgical treatment. Like many of you, I was always dismissed with a prescription of birth control, which I relied upon for a good few years. Based on my understanding of SIBO and leaky gut, I believe I've had bouts of SIBO on and off, and that my gut is probably always a little bit leaky, with both conditions being linked to food allergies and intolerances. I've done the low FODMAP dieting a few times, and I've done the AIP diet for my leaky gut, and both have definitely helped to an extent. So what's your experience with SIBO and leaky gut? Have you ever tried dieting as treatment? Did it help?